Welcome back to the channel Coin Collectors and Treasure Hunters. Today, we're diving into some of the most valuable and rare Lincoln 1-cent coins from the United States, the 1981, 1982, 1985, and 1988 pennies, all without mint marks. At first glance, they might look like ordinary pennies, but some of these coins are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if they have rare errors, transitional metals, or high-grade conditions. Let's get started. First up, let's start with the minting and composition of this coin. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced the 1981 no-mint mark penny, struck approximately 7.49 billion coins. Each coin was composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it a total weight of 3.11 grams. Unlike pennies made after mid-1982, which are mostly zinc with a thin copper coating, this one feels heavier and sturdier in hand. Its diameter is 19.05 millimeters, and the edge is smooth. Collectors love this year because it marks the end of the pure copper era, something we'll likely never see again in US small change due to rising metal costs. Now, let's talk about design. On the obverse side, we have the iconic bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner and introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Surrounding his portrait are the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1981, with no mint mark, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, stands tall and dignified. If you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, an incredible detail for such a small coin. The inscriptions "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and 1 cent complete this timeless design. When it comes to condition, collectors and graders use specific terms to describe the quality of a coin. A coin in uncirculated condition, mint state, means it shows no signs of wear, its surfaces are sharp, its luster is full, and all original details are intact. For 1981 no-mint mark pennies, grades range from MS60 to MS67, with the red color designation, RD, being the most valuable. Coins graded MS65 RD typically sell for $5 to $10, while MS67 RD examples can reach $150 to $250, depending on strike quality and market demand. Extremely well-preserved examples with blazing red color and minimal contact marks are prized by serious collectors. Now, let's explore rare errors and varieties found on 1981 Lincoln cents. While most were struck normally, a few rare error coins have surfaced over the years. Some of the most valuable include double die obverse, DDO pennies, where the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear doubled. These can fetch between $50 and $200, depending on clarity. There are also off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and broad strikes that can sell for $30 to $100 or more. One of the most fascinating errors is the die crack or cut error, where part of the die breaks off and leaves a raised blob of metal on the surface, highly collectible among error coin specialists. Let's not forget the historical significance of this coin. The 1981 penny stands as one of the last of the heavy cents struck before the U.S. Mint began experimenting with cheaper materials due to the rising cost of copper. The next year, 1982, saw both copper and zinc versions, confusing collectors and sparking new interest in penny composition. The 1981 penny, however, remains fully copper and pure to the traditional Lincoln cent legacy that started in 1909. Because of this, many collectors treat it as the final classic Lincoln cent before the modern era of lighter, cheaper coins began. The intrinsic metal value of a 1981 penny adds another layer of interest. When copper prices rise, the melt value of each coin can exceed its face value, sometimes reaching 2 to 3 cents just for the metal content. Although it's illegal to melt US coins for profit, this fact gives 1981 copper pennies a built-in collectible value. Coin hoarders and investors often save rolls of 1981 pennies for future appreciation, especially those in bright red, mint state condition. This blend of metal and historical value makes them both nostalgic and practical collectibles. From a collector's standpoint, the eye appeal of a coin can drastically affect its value. Coins that retain their original red copper shine are far more desirable than those that have turned brown over time. Red coins (RD) show no oxidation, red-brown (RB) coins show partial toning, and brown (BN) coins have fully oxidized surfaces. Proper storage can preserve a coin's beauty. Keep your 1981 pennies in airtight holders or 2x2 flips and store them in a cool, dry environment away from humidity. Never clean your coins, as this can severely damage the surface and reduce collector value. The grading process can make or break a coin's market price. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC assign numerical grades from 1 to 70 using the Sheldon scale. If you believe your 1981 no-mint mark penny might grade above MS66RD, it may be worth submitting for certification. Certified coins are easier to sell, often fetching higher prices in auctions or collector marketplaces. Coins that display full strikes, sharp Lincoln details, and flawless surfaces often command premium prices, especially when combined with the coin's historical significance as one of the last copper issues. So, if you come across a 1981 Lincoln 1-cent coin without a mint mark in uncirculated condition, don't overlook it. You could be holding a small yet valuable piece of American history. Whether you're a beginner coin hunter or an experienced numismatist, this coin deserves a spot in your collection for its story, design, and rarity in top grades. Remember to subscribe, tap the notification bell, and join our growing community of coin lovers for more videos on coin values, era varieties, and the fascinating history behind your pocket change. You never know, that ordinary-looking penny could be worth far more than you think. Next up, let's dive into the technical details and minting background. The Philadelphia Mint produced billions of these pennies in 1982 without a mint mark. But here's the twist: there are actually 7 recognized varieties of 1982 Lincoln cents: 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, and then the same variations for Denver Mint coins with the D mint mark. The coin we're focusing on today, the 1982 no mint mark small date or large date, is especially important because it can exist in either copper or zinc form. This makes 1982 pennies an incredible year for collectors and metal enthusiasts alike. So how do you tell the difference between copper and zinc 1982 pennies? The easiest way is to weigh them. A copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. You can use a small digital scale to check the difference. If your coin weighs around 3.1 grams, it's one of the last true copper pennies ever made. If it weighs around 2.5 grams, it's a zinc version, lighter and more common. The small date versus large date distinction is determined by the shape of the numerals, in particular, the 2 and 8 in the date. The small date has a thinner and slightly higher 8, while the large date has a thicker and lower 8. These subtle details make coin collecting both challenging and fun. Now, let's talk about design and artistry. The obverse side of the 1982 Lincoln penny continues the Victor David Brenner design introduced in 1909, featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln facing right. Around him are the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1982, with no mint mark beneath the date, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. On the reverse, we find the majestic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, with incredible attention to detail. The inscriptions "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and 1 cent complete the reverse, maintaining the timeless legacy of the Lincoln cent design that ran until 2008. Now for the values and market prices, which is what most collectors want to know. In uncirculated, mint state condition, 1982 no mint mark pennies can vary widely in value depending on composition and date style. Common zinc versions in MS60, MS64 typically sell for 10 cents to $1, while copper versions can bring $1 to $5. However, rare high-grade examples graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can sell for $100 to $500, especially if they display strong red color, RD, and minimal contact marks. And here's the big one: The 1982 D small date copper penny, a different but related variety, once sold for over $18,000, proving that 1982 cents can hide major treasures. The 1982 Lincoln penny is also known for fascinating era coins and varieties. You might encounter double die obverse (DDO) examples, where the date or inscriptions appear slightly doubled. These errors can fetch $50 to $250 depending on sharpness. Other valuable errors include off-center strikes, die cracks, clip planchets, and even transitional composition errors, where a coin was struck on the wrong metal planchet. Transitional errors are extremely rare and highly sought after. For example, a 1982 copper coin struck with a small date zinc die can bring thousands of dollars at auction. Always check your coins carefully with a magnifying glass and scale. The 1982 penny's historical context makes it more than just a small coin. It tells a story about America's economy. The switch from copper to zinc was driven by rising copper prices during the late 1970s and early 1980s. By 1981, the cost of producing a copper penny was approaching 1 cent or more, making it economically unsustainable. The U.S. Mint experimented with cheaper materials, leading to the zinc composition we still use today. So, when you hold a 1982 copper penny, you're holding a symbol of economic transition, the last chapter of an era that began with Lincoln's image in 1909. For collectors, condition and luster play a crucial role in determining value. Coins are graded from MS-60, basic uncirculated, to MS-70, perfect, on the Sheldon scale. Brilliant red RD coins are the most desirable, followed by red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. An MS-67RD 1982 no-mint mark copper penny can sell for hundreds due to its sharp details and glowing luster. Keep your coins in airtight capsules or 2x2 holders to prevent oxidation, as copper reacts easily with moisture. Avoid cleaning your coin. It reduces value dramatically and removes natural mint luster, which collectors highly prize. If you want to submit your coin for grading, professional services like PCGS, NGC, or Anax are your best bet. These companies authenticate your coin, determine its exact variety, such as 1982 large date copper or small date zinc, and encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder. Having your coin certified adds trust and transparency for potential buyers or investors. Some collectors have discovered rare varieties while submitting coins, leading to life-changing finds. So, if your 1982 penny is pristine and shows unique features, it might be worth sending in. You never know what you might have. In conclusion, the 1982 Lincoln 1-cent coin without a mint mark remains one of the most interesting and educational coins in U.S. history. Its mix of copper and zinc varieties, small and large date differences, and multiple era possibilities make it a cornerstone of modern penny collecting. Whether you're just starting your numismatic journey or you've been collecting for years, 1982 pennies offer an incredible chance to explore U.S. minting history firsthand. So next time you sort through your change or old coin rolls, take a closer look. Your 1982 no-mint mark penny could be more than just a cent. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and join our community for more deep dives into rare coins worth big money. Next up, the 1985 Lincoln cent continues the classic design by Victor David Brenner, which first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the obverse, we see Lincoln's right-facing profile with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1985 to the right. The absence of a mint mark beneath the date indicates Philadelphia production. The reverse side, designed by Frank Gasparo, features the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing strength, unity, and democracy. If you look closely, you can even see a tiny outline of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial, one of the finest small design details in all U.S. coinage. Now let's talk about composition and specifications. The 1985 Lincoln cent is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, which is a thin copper plating over a zinc core. This change in composition had begun in 1982 when the mint stopped using mostly copper due to rising metal costs. The coin weighs about 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a plain edge. Because of its zinc core, these coins can easily corrode or form bubbles under the surface if exposed to moisture, so storing them properly is essential, especially for collectors hoping to preserve their coins' red luster and high value. When it comes to mintage and production, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 5.6 billion 1985 pennies, making it one of the higher production years of the Lincoln Memorial Series. While this might sound like a lot, only a small fraction of those coins remain in pristine, uncirculated condition today. Circulation wear, corrosion, and oxidation have reduced the number of top-quality examples, which is why collectors pay more for coins that have retained their original shine. The challenge, and excitement, lies in finding that perfect gem among billions of common ones. So, how much is a 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln cent actually worth? In circulated condition, it's generally worth its face value, 1 cent. However, in uncirculated condition, the value increases dramatically. In grades MS60 to MS63, you can expect values between 10 cents and 25 cents. For MS65 red RD examples, prices can rise to around $2 to $5, while superb MS67 RD coins have been known to sell for $50 to $150 at auction. And if you're lucky enough to own an MS68 RD example with flawless strike and luster, it could be worth $250 or more, depending on the grading company and market demand. These top-tier coins are rare because very few survive without any marks or toning. The error and variety market for the 1985 Lincoln cent is also exciting. There are known examples of double die obverse, DDO, and double die reverse, DDR varieties where parts of the lettering, especially Liberty or In God We Trust, appear slightly doubled. These coins can range in value from $25 to $200, depending on the clarity of the doubling and condition. You may also find off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks, each adding to the rarity and desirability of the coin. Collectors should always use a magnifying glass or microscope when examining 1980s pennies since small details can make a big difference in value. The 1985 penny might not be a century-old coin, but it holds great historical and economic significance. It represents an era when the U.S. economy was stabilizing after inflation in the late 1970s, and the mint's use of zinc showed a commitment to cost efficiency. This small cent also carried Lincoln's image through decades of American history, a symbol of freedom, perseverance, and unity. For new collectors, the 1985 penny is an affordable and accessible starting point. It offers both sentimental and educational value, teaching us about how coins evolve with changing times. For those who want to preserve and protect their 1985 pennies, proper handling is key. Always hold coins by the edges and avoid touching the surface. Store them in acid-free coin holders, airtight capsules, or PVC-free flips to prevent damage. Cleaning should never be attempted. It destroys the original mint luster and drastically reduces collector value. If you discover a coin that looks exceptionally clean or red, it's best to submit it to professional grading services such as PCGS, NGC, or ANAX, which authenticate, grade, and encapsulate the coin in a protective slab that enhances its market appeal. Let's also discuss grading designations. When a 1985 penny is described as red RD, red-brown RB, or brown BN, that refers to the color and toning of the copper plating. Red coins are the most desirable since they've retained their original bright shine. Red-brown coins show a mix of copper color and darker toning, while brown coins have oxidized over time. Even a small difference in color can mean a big difference in price. For example, an MS67BN coin might sell for $20, while an MS67RD example could sell for over $100, just because of its preserved red surface. In conclusion, the 1985 Lincoln 1-cent coin without a mint mark may seem ordinary at first glance, but in uncirculated or gem condition, it's a valuable piece of numismatic history. It connects the long legacy of Lincoln's image with modern minting techniques and economic realities. Whether you collect coins for fun, investment, or historical interest, the 1985 penny is a coin worth keeping, especially if it shines bright red with perfect detail. Always check your change, coin rolls, or old jars. You might just find one of these hidden gems waiting to be discovered. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and join our 60 Mint coin community for more videos on rare coins worth big money. Next up, the Lincoln Cent series, introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, remains one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The 1988 penny sits near the end of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse era, 1959 to 2008, featuring the monument designed by Frank Gasparo. This coin symbolizes stability during a time of economic change in the U.S. The late 1980s saw rapid advancements in technology, a growing middle class, and a renewed interest in collecting American coinage. The 1988 Lincoln Cent bridges the historical legacy of the early copper cents with the modern zinc composition that defines today's pennies. On the obverse, you'll find the timeless portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His right-facing profile is surrounded by the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1988 to the right. The absence of a mint mark below the date tells you this coin was minted in Philadelphia, which did not use mint marks on cents at that time. Collectors admire how even after nearly 8 decades, Lincoln's design remained almost unchanged, a symbol of national honor and enduring respect for one of America's greatest leaders. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, with fine detailing that includes even a tiny engraved statue of Lincoln visible inside the monument if you look closely under magnification. Surrounding the memorial are the inscriptions "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum," with the denomination 1 cent at the bottom. This reverse design, used from 1959 to 2008, was a tribute to Lincoln's legacy and to the unity of the United States. Even though billions were struck, each coin is a small piece of artistry and national symbolism, making uncirculated examples a beautiful addition to any coin collection. By 1988, the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to copper-plated zinc cents, introduced in 1982 to cut costs. The 1988 penny is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, weighs 2.5 grams, and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter. It has a plain edge and a bright, shiny surface when uncirculated. However, because of the zinc core, these coins can easily corrode or develop surface bubbles if exposed to moisture. That's why finding one in uncirculated or brilliant red, RD condition is becoming harder every year, and why those pristine examples command collector premiums. The Philadelphia Mint struck an astonishing 6,092,810,000, over 6 billion, 1988 no-mint mark pennies. That's an enormous number, but quantity doesn't mean quality. The majority entered circulation immediately, showing wear and discoloration. Only a small percentage survived in uncirculated rolls, mint sets, or collector albums. The true gems are the ones with perfect strikes, strong luster, and no contact marks. These top-graded examples are the ones that auction buyers and grading companies look for, especially coins graded MS67RD or higher, which are both rare and visually stunning. So, what's the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln Cent worth today? In circulated condition, it's typically worth 1 cent. But in uncirculated, MS60, MS63 grades, it can fetch 10 to 25 cents. A beautiful MS65RD red coin might bring $2 to $5, while an MS67RD example can reach $50 to $150. In top MS68RD condition, extremely rare examples can command $300 or more at auction. Coins certified by PCGS or NGC often sell for premium prices, especially if they have full red color and sharp detail. The difference between a $1 and $300 coin lies entirely in preservation, color, and strike quality, so always check your coin carefully. The 1988 penny is especially famous for its 1988 reverse of 1989 variety, also known as the transitional reverse error. This rare type occurs when a 1988 obverse die was paired with a reverse die meant for the following year. You can identify it by looking at the spacing and shape of the designer's initials FG on the reverse. In the 1989 style, the initials are closer to the memorial. These coins are extremely scarce and can sell for $50 to $500, depending on grade and condition. Other errors like off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die cracks also exist and can significantly boost a coin's collector value. If you happen to find a 1988 penny that looks bright red or flawless, handle it carefully. Always hold coins by their edges, and never clean them. Cleaning removes the original mint luster and instantly lowers their value. Store your coins in acid-free holders or airtight capsules, away from heat and humidity. For serious collectors, getting the coin professionally graded by PCGS, NGC, or ANAX is highly recommended. Grading not only authenticates the coin but also helps preserve its condition and increases its resale value. A certified MS67RD or MS68RD 1988 penny is an impressive and worthwhile addition to any Lincoln cent collection. In conclusion, the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent coin without a mint mark may seem like an ordinary penny, but it's much more than spare change. It's a small piece of U.S. history, a symbol of craftsmanship, and a potential hidden treasure for collectors. Whether it's the transitional reverse variety, a brilliant uncirculated red coin, or just a well-preserved piece of nostalgia, every 1988 cent tells a story of the mint's precision and America's heritage. So keep searching, keep collecting, and remember, even a single penny could hold surprising value. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon to stay updated with 60 Mint, your home for discovering coins worth big money.